Let's take a look at another grading example. In this case, we're going to create a road crown. And here's our problem. We have a road. It has been graded already, so it's got a uniform slope. All right, and it looks like we're going low on the left, contour 20, 21, 22, 23, high up on the right. Each of these contours is 40 feet apart. How do we place a 3-inch crown on this road? Well, a 3-inch crown means that along the center line of the road here, if we were to place a spot elevation, that spot elevation would be 3 inches higher than at the edge of the road. All right. Notice that 3 inches is the same as 3/12, 1/4 of a foot, right, is 0.25 feet. Right. So our contour can't run straight through the middle of the road because it's actually higher in the middle of the road. Right. So we have to redraw the contour in order to show this crown. Right. And we've already learned what that contour is going to look like. It will come from here. All right. And then it's going to make a curve pointing in the downhill direction, and then meet the grade on the other side. So we know the general look of that contour, but how do we dimension it? How do we specifically locate that contour? We're going to use the tool of interpolation. So here I have zoomed into kind of the space between contours 22 and 23, and we're going to interpolate to locate this contour 23. We know that specifically we're looking for 23. I mean, not only do we know that contour signature, all right, but we know that we're looking for a whole number contour in between 22.25 and 23.25. When we used interpolation earlier, all right, we divided the distance between any 2 points by counting tenths of a foot. And we're going to change up our method a little bit here because we're going to count by quarters of a foot, all right, because we're working with that 3-inch distance, quarter of a foot. All right, it makes it easier. How many quarters of a foot are there between 22.25 and 23.25? We're interpolating between these 2 points. There are 4 quarters of a foot in this 1 foot distance. All right. And you could actually, if you needed to, you could calculate this. All right. Take the higher number minus the lower number, divide by that quarter of a foot, and you get 4 equal spaces. All right. So you're going to take this spot to this spot, all right, this point to this point, and divide that into 4 equal parts. Right. They'll be equally spaced because our slope is uniform. We already have done that first pass grading solution and created a beautiful uniform slope on our road. All right, now that you have those points, you can draw your contour. All right, it's going to come like this and along this way, and then meet your point right here. All right. Remember, this is the 23 contour, and come this way. All right. Notice your signature points downhill. All right. So as your water flows, it's going to come this way. All right. This one is going to come perpendicular to the contour line. All right. And so it'll flow this way. It'll catch at the curb here. All right. Or a swale maybe, and be moved downhill. All right, now that we've got our points, it's time to connect the dots. So your 23 contour line is going to come up this way, all right, and it will connect with that point that you just found, all right, and it will come this way and meet the grade and go in that direction. All right, let me switch colors here and talk about this signature is pointing downhill, and that's because the water is going to flow downhill and perpendicular to the contours. So water is coming this way, perpendicular to the contours, but then once you reach the road bed, All right, water is actually going to flow this direction, perpendicular to the contours. And that water is going to meet its buddies here off the road and continue to flow down the hill. All right, so we just drew that road crown as two straight lines, creating kind of a chevron or a V shape. A lot of roads are built that way, especially the larger ones, but the smaller roads, narrower, are often are often built with a curved crown. All right, a curved crown is going to look like this red line. It comes here, and then it hits all the same points. All right, but it is an elliptical curve or an arc. All right, meets the grade and continues. All right, in AutoCAD you can create this using a 3-point arc or a 3-point elliptical arc. All right. And then there's one last piece for your grading plan, and that is to always dimension your crown. When you're doing these road grading exercises, you kind of do a first pass to create these evenly spaced contours across your road. Then you're going to take kind of a second pass and add the crowns to the road. It's important that you delete this first pass straight line. All right, this is incorrect the way that it's drawn with both. All right, the correct contour looks like this. Here's the existing contour. We come and meet the grade. All right, and then we have our crown, which is the chevron or the arc shape pointing downhill. All right, we come back to meet the grade and continue with the existing. All right, make sure that your final contour is one continuous line like this. All right, you're going to leave the existing contour on the drawing, and your modified contour, all right, will be added to that.